All right, let's get to another Big 12 game. Arizona State at Arizona, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox. Playoff implications. Arizona State most likely just needs to win this game to make the Big 12 title game. We'll talk about a scenario where it actually wouldn't happen if they win this game in just a second. But Arizona State, Dalton, really amazing season so far. 3-9 over the last 2 years. Now they're 9-2. It's really amazing what Kenny Dillingham's done in his second year at Arizona State. They have ranked wins in Kansas State and BYU. They don't really completely control their own destiny, but it's close enough. So if you look at the scenario where they don't make the Big 12 title game, even with a win, this is basically all they need to do. They need to win and BYU to win and TCU to win Baylor to lose, Iowa State to lose, Texas Tech to lose, or Colorado to lose. So the only way that Arizona State does not make the Big 12 title game with a win is if all of those other things happen in the opposite direction, which I looked it up, Dawn. We have our betting tools available at PFF.com. It tells you exactly the percentage chance of every team winning. And, using my calculus class where I took in college, which I failed really badly. But I did understand how to make odds for multiple things to occur. And you multiply all the odds for those to occur, there's a 1% chance that exact combination occurs. So there's a 1% chance that even if Arizona State wins, they don't make the Big 12 title game. So it's most likely win and in for Arizona State. But there is a scenario out there where they don't make it in, is if Colorado beats Oklahoma State, Iowa State beats Kansas State, Houston beats BYU, Texas beats West Virginia, Baylor beats Kansas, and Cincinnati beats TCU. That is a scenario where Arizona State would not make it in to the Big 12 title game. That exact scenario, all of that needs to happen. So basically, it is winning in for Arizona State.
All you can do is control what you can control in the Big 12. And isn't that amazing? We have some wild scenario where no team in a conference controls their own
in the
destiny.
last week of the season.
That's incredible.
And nobody's clinched, which a lot of conferences, a lot of teams have clinched, or two teams have clinched. Nobody's clinched in the Big 12. And nobody controls their own destiny in the Big 12.
And
either.
in theory, not just the four at the top. I believe it's 8 teams that are still technically somehow have a pulse. Is it 9? Whatever it is. So
wild conference.
The Big 12 is even wilder than we thought it would be in the preseason. It's incredible. But no, I'll tell you, with Arizona State, someone asked me actually earlier today. They said, who in this conference is playing the best football right now? And I told them, I said Arizona State.
Yeah,
they're just playing a terrific brand of football right now.
And listen. Basically winning in, but I just don't want Arizona State fans to be shocked if they win this game and don't make the Big 12 title game. Like, wait, everyone told us winning in. What happened? That's the one scenario.
We're 99% sure.
Literally 99% sure that it wouldn't happen. So that's the one scenario where Arizona State would not make the Big 12 title game even with a win. But you have the Arizona offense in this one, Dawn. What should we be looking out for in the Wildcats of the ball?
Revenge.
Yeah,
and this is where this happens. I believe Arizona put up 59 points. I want to say it was on Arizona State last year. It was the last game of the season, just like this. They had a tough season. They only won 3 games up to that point. Arizona was having a really good season. They were one of the premier breakout teams in college football last year, right? Noah Fifita coming on. Let's just roll back to the box score last year. Do you know what Noah Fifita did to them last year?
Oh, he went off, didn't he?
How about 527 yards
going off.
and 5 touchdowns? And Teteroa McMillan had 266 of those yards.
Yeah.
Okay. They took advantage of a rival and absolutely teed off through the air. Arizona State, I can guarantee you, they don't want to have that again. And I'll tell you this: I talked about their run defense earlier in the year. We know their defense plays very hard, but gotten a lot better in coverage this year too. Okay, last year they were 117th in coverage grade. This year they're 44th. They're solidly above average, right? And they're actually, to me, I watch them. They're getting better as the season goes on. I think we've seen it. We've talked about it offensively with Sam Levitt and the gang on that side getting better. I think the defense has gotten a lot better too. So you talk about a team who I want to look at their safeties real quick specifically. Last year, their safeties, not the same guys that are playing right now, had the second worst coverage grade in the entire country. They just couldn't stop passes down the field. Fifita in that game last year completed 11 of his 18 passes beyond 10 yards downfield, just teeing off on them. All right? Now you got a couple guys at safety who've been playing really well. Xavion Alford, who hadn't played in a game this year before in the last 2 years. He hadn't played since 2021 at USC. Missed 22 with an injury and missed 2023 with some sort of eligibility issue. 88.2 coverage grade this season. One of the best in the country. Miles Rouser, who comes in from New Mexico State. He's also been solid, okay? Now you went from the second worst coverage grade at safety to inside the top 20 with these two guys. And it's allowing them to prevent big plays from occurring down the field. A big issue last year was just they gave up big plays and deep shots left and right, especially in this game. These two guys are a huge key at safety, Alford and Rouser, where you're talking about, okay, how's Arizona going to win a ball game? Because all they've had all year, realistically, consistently, is Tedero and McMillan in the passing game, right? Well, that's what you have to slow down. And these two, Fafita and McMillan, are probably going to feel confident coming in against this Arizona State team and feeling like they could put up points. If Arizona State's coverage improvements hold, I like their chances in this game. But you got a big task covering maybe the best receiver in the country.
Yeah, absolutely. Tedero McMillan, a finalist for the Blitnikoff Award, given to the best receiver in college football, could very well win that award as well, the way he's been playing this year. Matchups watching the other side of the ball, Dawn, is Cam Scadaboo and whether or not Arizona could slow him down, because he has been a workhorse for Arizona State's offense this year. Among FBS running backs, he is second in first down/touchdown carries. He is second in receiving yards. He's fourth in broken tackles on runs, and he's seventh in yards after contact. He's simply one of the best all-around running backs that we have in college football, and he refuses to go down easily. That could be a problem against Arizona, because right now they have a 70.4 run defense grade. That is 110th in the nation. They've allowed 1,167 yards after contact this year. That's 80th in the country as well. Arizona, I will say, has not allowed a running back to have 50 or more receiving yards on them this year. And obviously, I mentioned before, Cam Scadaboo is one of the best receiving backs in America. But it's also fair to say they have not played a running back who's as dangerous in that aspect as Cam Scadaboo. So slowing down number 4 is priority number 1 for Arizona in this game, because Cam Scadaboo really has the capability of taking games over.
He's the engine. He certainly is the engine, and then Sam Levitt and Jordan Tyson are the gas and making big plays off of play action. And you know, if you line up man to man against this team, I think you're asking for a world of hurt with Scadaboo and a lot of the ways they scheme him open, and with Tyson. Look, very much, it's kind of weird, very much like McMillan the second half of last year, becoming one of the best receivers in the country. It's exactly what Jordan Tyson has done, and I don't know if he'll have all that revenge against them and go for 266 like Tet did last year, but I really like a lot of what's going on with Arizona State's offense, and I think it could cause the Wildcats a lot of problems.
It could. Yeah, absolutely could. So, Dolan, in a game where Arizona State pretty much controls their own destiny, will they punch their ticket to the Big 12 title game, or will Arizona pull off a major upset?
I think they'll do it. I think the Sun Devils are going to do it. I have them 34-24, and I think the big things that scare me, obviously, are McMillan, who can take a game over at any time, and just this is another one where it's on the road, it's the rivalry thing, and it's not Arizona State has been playing extremely good football, but they're not a perfect team, right? You mentioned last week, pass rush isn't great. It wasn't great last week against BYU. That's kind of one thing where I go, okay, if you're going to give Fafita extra time to mess around back there, then you have something. But I think Arizona State is the better team. I think the way their offense is rolling in two dimensions right now, not just with Scadaboo, but with Levitt and Tyson also. And Levitt's mobile himself. He can run a little bit. I think Arizona State has a lot more avenues of winning this game, and I think they'll find a way to get there. I'll take them by 10 points.
Yeah, I got Arizona State winning by a little bit bigger margin. I have it 34-21. I think Cam Scadaboo is going to have a lot of success against Arizona's run defense this year that's had some issues, filling gaps, and also just having issues tackling as well. And against a guy who's as physical as Cam Scadaboo, that's a big problem. So I think that'll be a problem. I think Arizona State will win this game, win their 5th straight game, and pretty much lock up a spot in the Big 12 title game next week.
We're pretty sure. Again,
there's a 1% chance where that exact crazy combination occurs where they don't get in with a win, but we're literally 99% sure Arizona State would be in if they win this game. So Arizona State, we both have taken down Arizona in that one. Hey, thanks for watching another episode of the PFF College Football Show. Please make sure you guys subscribe to the channel.
Also, subscribe to PFF Plus at subscribe.pff.com for all of the same data and grades that we use in our show, plus fantasy tools, betting tools, and our mock draft simulator.